Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? The idea that seemingly simple actions or decisions can have a significant impact on the rest of your existence. A butterfly flaps its wings in the Amazonian rainforest, and it changes the weather half a world away. A Scottish girl walks into a hockey game, there's a joke in there somewhere, and the rest of her life changes completely. Hockey is far more than just a sport to me, and here's why. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Victoria and I talk all things Toronto Maple Leafs and hockey commentary from across the pond in Scotland. It's my 25th birthday this week, and when I was planning out the types of videos that I was putting out in the month of February for this week, I wanted to have something a little bit fun, a little bit creative, and of course turning 25 you start to reflect back on previous years, and I realised that I have been watching hockey in a fully obsessed way since the age of 16. And now I know that to any sort of Canadians or in the States as well, that doesn't seem like that long and that seems like quite a late entry to the game. But I'm Scottish of course, and I live in Scotland, and hockey over here is still a developing sport. It's developed an insane amount in the time that even I've been watching, but it's still very much a niche sport compared to other more popular types of sports over here. And so since it's my birthday week, I felt like I was justified in making a sort of sentimental, reflective, very creative kind of video, which I love to film and edit this sort of content. So I always get asked, how did I get into hockey from so far away? How did I become a Toronto Maple Leafs fan? All those sorts of things. I have touched on those questions before, but I felt like it was a great way to honour my 25th spin around the sun, making a video all about it, and also explaining why hockey is more than just a game to me and how it's completely and utterly changed my life. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just keep watching and also subscribe to my channel. I post a lot of videos talking about hockey commentary, Toronto Maple Leafs content, analysis, anything related to hockey and specifically the NHL usually, you will find on this channel. So subscribe if that sounds like something you would enjoy, and let's jump into the video. So one of the questions I get asked the most, and one of my favourite to answer, how did I become a hockey fan, and specifically a Toronto Maple Leafs fan? I went to my first game on the 18th of November 2016. Someone I was really close to in high school offered me a free ticket because his brother played and still plays on the local professional hockey team, the Dundee Stars. So of course, because his brother plays for them, he gets complimentary tickets, and he offered me one. It was a Friday night, I had no other plans, and so I agreed to go even though I knew absolutely nothing about the sport. I remember googling some of the basic rules of hockey and also texting my group chat of high school friends saying that I had no idea what I was about to watch. Growing up, I wasn't the biggest sports lover, to be honest. My family are massive football fans, or soccer fans, even though it's football. So I really grew up surrounded by football. And while I really liked football, and I still love it to this day, I was never really obsessed with it. My mum especially, she's always been really heavily involved in sports all her life. She's a massive football fan. She also worked for my favourite football team, who are Dundee United by the way, just as a side note. She worked for them before I was born, but funnily enough, when she was young during the late 1960s and early 70s, she went to watch the Dundee Rockets with her gran. So she actually had watched hockey when she was a kid. So of course, when I said that I'd been offered a free ticket, she really encouraged me to go because she really liked watching it too. And sometimes I think about if I hadn't gone and what my life would look like if I just said no to that free ticket. I honestly almost said no because it just felt so far out of my comfort zone at that age. But luckily I did, and I fell in love with it instantly. Football is fun, but the fast-paced physical energy that you get in hockey is just unmatched. From that one game, I was captivated and I knew that this was going to be one of my things. The Dundee Stars beat the Coventry Blaze 5-1 in my very first game, and it had me hooked. I even posted this tweet when I got home from the game, which definitely wasn't a cool thing to do at the time. I wouldn't say that hockey was anything cool in the mainstream to be talking about at this point anyway. I don't even know how many people in 2016 just in the general public would have even known that there was a professional league in the UK, because hockey's more mainstream now than it's ever been, and there's still people I meet who don't know that there's a pro league over here. From then on, I was absolutely obsessed, and I was probably kind of annoying, you know, in that 16-year-old newly obsessed with something way. That was me. I started learning about all the fundamentals of hockey, all about the UK's pro league, which is the EIHL by the way, in case you don't know. And I just wanted to know everything about the sport, and I wanted to go to every single game. Of course, pretty quickly I learned about the existence of the NHL. The NHL was also really not big back in 2016, and it was pretty hard to watch some of the games. Luckily, it has grown since then, and there are a lot more NHL fans over this side of the pond now, which I love to see. But I figured that if I loved UK hockey a lot, surely the best league in the world was something that I had to give a try. So I downloaded the NHL app. I'm pretty sure it was after a Stars home game, and I came home from what I can recall, and I downloaded the app and was like, right, I'm going to pick a team. So up comes the team list on the app, all teams in the entire league, and every instinct in my body was drawn to one particular team. They played in blue and white, and they had a maple leaf for a logo. As soon as I saw the Toronto Maple Leafs, I knew that was my team. The reason, outside of instinct, I'm really not too sure. It was just such a gut instinct that I had to pick them. Over time, I've tried to come up with more rational reasons as to why I picked them. And I was familiar with Toronto as a place because I have relatives that live in Hamilton, and from other family members going out to visit them, there's always been various like Toronto magnets, and also, you know, those souvenir plates that people would buy when they went on holiday somewhere that has like the location on it, like a kind of China plate. There's one like that's got Toronto and has the skyline on it that's been around in my family since before I was born, I'm pretty sure. So I was definitely familiar with the place of Toronto, like the city. And I've always been obsessed with watching YouTube and YouTubers. Shocking, I know. And my all-time, still to this day, favourite creator is Kaylin Nicholson, and at the time I started watching her around 2016 too, her videos, and she lived in Toronto at the time. She just moved there, and I absolutely loved all her videos that sort of showed off the city. But despite all these circumstantial reasons, really it was pure gut instinct that made me pick the Leafs. It was almost like I knew I had to choose them. It wasn't that I wanted to choose them, it was that I had to. Like it was kind of my destiny to pick them, I guess you could say. So I picked them, and I mean, I guess the rest is history. I started watching some of the games, I started watching highlights as much as I could, and I started learning all about the team. Of course, a very lucky time to get into hockey and pick the Toronto Maple Leafs, because the Leafs had been struggling up until that era, that new era where the core four came in, Austin Matthews was drafted, Nylander and Marner came into the team. That was a really exciting era for the Leafs, and I feel really lucky that I started watching them around that time, because obviously they had struggled in the seasons previous to this. But obviously it goes without saying, I did not pick a team just because they were good, because if I was going to bandwagon a team, I don't think it would be the Leafs. As I said before, it was a nightmare to watch the games over here at that point. I had an NHL TV subscription, which I'm certain was the only legal way you could watch the games at that point. And even then, a lot of them for some reason were still blacked out. You couldn't access every single game. There wasn't the accessibility that there is now to NHL games. And I think it's great how far Europe has come in terms of watching and streaming NHL games, because it was a struggle. It was not easy to watch the games at all. But anyway, I completely and utterly fell in love with this team, and the love that I already had for hockey as a sport only grew deeper and deeper when I found the Toronto Maple Leafs, because the team completed me. They completed my life. So that's how I became a fan. But how did it change my life from then? Because I'm not being dramatic when I say that hockey literally changed my life. I got more and more involved with watching and keeping up with the team. I started getting jerseys for the first time, which I have a big jersey collection. Stay tuned, I will be filming a 2025 jersey collection video very soon. And those jerseys are some of my most prized possessions. I actually have so many now that I used to have one closet space that was dedicated to them, and there's too many. So I've had to like pack away some that I don't wear as often, and then I still have a whole section of my closet full of them. So yeah, I have a lot of new items in my life that I would never have owned if I hadn't got into hockey. I also got my first tattoo in February 2020 and it was a maple leaf on my shoulder. I have some other hockey tattoos that I've got since then, so I am permanently fixed to the Leafs, put it that way. I mean, I couldn't leave even if I wanted to, which I never would. I also, most importantly, made some really great friends and connections, especially because I was going to my local arena week in, week out. Some of the friends I made there are just really great people. And then when the pandemic hit and of course hockey was cancelled and the NHL started doing that whole bubble hockey thing, it was a real blow to lose that feeling of community that I'd built up through watching hockey. And I've always loved posting on social media. Social media is something that's been in my life for a long time. I'm right in that generation where we kind of got the good bits of social media to grow up with. You know, I remember being like 13, 14 when Instagram was really big and you would post all those really weird filters over pictures of your Converse trainers and stuff. Peak era of Instagram, if I'm honest. So I'd always loved social media and I'd always loved content creation too. And when we went into the COVID lockdown, I was really missing having an outlet to talk about hockey, I guess. And so I started posting on social media, Twitter in particular, literally posting out into the abyss. Nobody that followed me on Twitter at the time cared about the Leafs and the NHL and what I thought about hockey. I was just posting out into the void because it gave me something to focus on during COVID and something that I enjoyed doing. Over time, I managed to find other Leafs fans through Twitter and other social media platforms that were also massive Leafs fans, a lot of Canadians who had watched the Leafs their entire lives, and it was really great to connect with them. COVID lockdown was really hard and it was really nice to have a space to connect even digitally with people in a time which otherwise was so isolating. My university was fully online. I had gone from seeing my friends every single day to not being able to see anybody outside my household. So having that online community where we all loved hockey, all loved the Leafs, and we could interact with one another was truly a lifesaver during that time. Fast forward a little bit to 2021 and I kept posting all about the Leafs, all about hockey, kept connecting with more and more people online. And then one night I randomly posted, I think the first video that I ever made for social media. I've been posting some selfies in like hockey stuff and I got the term puck bunny thrown at me quite a few times. And so right before I went to bed one night, I made this random video ranting about the term puck bunny and the insults that are given to female hockey fans, which are completely unjustified. So I literally posted it, went to sleep, and when I woke up in the morning, that tweet had like really blown up for me. It had tens of thousands of views, whereas previously the only people that saw what I was posting were the handful of people that I had already, like, I guess connected with online about the Leafs. There was other women replying to me, telling me about their experiences as a female hockey fan and the insults that they'd also been given, which were very similar to mine. And there was also just so many men coming out in support of, you know, female hockey fans too. And my account went from 0 to 100 because of that. And because people found me through that, then people started asking, you know, what's hockey like over in the UK? Like, how does someone Scottish get into hockey? So I started making more and more videos, and eventually in January 2022 I made this YouTube channel. I know that social media has many flaws, but truly my life wouldn't look the same if social media wasn't a thing and if I had never got involved in talking about hockey on the internet. Right around this time when I was starting to make videos, I was applying to master's degrees because I was finishing up my undergrad. I did my undergrad degree in history and I was just going to go to postgrad school and do a master's in history, but after kind of getting involved in this sort of content stuff suddenly online, I started rethinking that and I actually applied to do a master's in international marketing and management because I wanted something that was still reasonably employable but had a little bit more of that creativity that I'd got really used to sort of having. So I got in to do my master's on that, which I don't think I ever would have applied to that master's if I hadn't got into hockey and started posting content about it. So many projects in my master's degree were focused around hockey. I did this one business report which was about the potential for a company like Bauer to grow in somewhere like Kenya, where hockey is still an evolving sport, and how it could be a future target market for them. But most importantly, I wrote my master's thesis on marketing in the NHL. And that thesis got me a distinction in my master's degree. So once again, without hockey, probably wouldn't have gone for that master's in the first place, and also wouldn't have wrote my thesis on the very thing which got me a distinction. Since then I've worked in multiple hockey and sports roles. I've worked as a sports marketing specialist for a while. I've worked as a media manager, I've worked as a marketing manager for a hockey camp company, and this is still something that I'm hoping to pursue long term. I'm working on some stuff just now which is still in the works, which it feels really good to be working on paid hockey projects again. I work as a social media manager for a non-profit as my main job, but I'm always looking for opportunities in hockey and in sports, so whether that be freelance or anything else. So a little bit of self-promo there, but if you ever need to hire somebody for any sort of marketing content, social media, anything like that, especially surrounding hockey and sport, you know where I am. Shameless self-promo there, I'm sorry. Watching hockey and making content on it has also given me so many opportunities that otherwise I would never have had. Just some of my favourite highlights have been getting a press box tour at Scotiabank Arena from Joe Bowen. He is the nicest man, so cool. I'm still so grateful for that. I also got a tour around the Sportsnet studio. I got given Jays tickets from Red Bull Canada, which was really cool, and those seats were awesome. I also work with the St Andrew Society of Toronto, which isn't directly linked to hockey necessarily. It's to do with Scottish Canadian connections and keeping that alive, but a lot of it does intertwine with being a Leafs fan and you know all the Scottish Canadian stuff that goes on in my life. More in my personal life, I actually met my boyfriend because I started making hockey videos. He's Canadian, he's from the GTA, but he was studying over here and he saw my videos and he messaged me because we were both up watching a Leafs versus Red Wings game at 1:30 in the morning in the wrong time zone. And so he sent me a message, and we celebrated our 3rd anniversary this week, so without hockey I would not have Ryan. I've met so many new people that otherwise I would never have got to meet, and I also spend a lot of time in Toronto and in Ontario as a whole. I'd always wanted to visit, of course, but I've spent a lot of time there over the past couple of years and I feel very grateful that I'm able to do that. I would have had none of these things if it wasn't for going to that one random hockey game that day, and I just think that's really cool. And as I turn 25 and I'm thinking about my dreams and my goals for the future, I want to be involved in hockey in some way, whether that's making content, making lots of videos, or in some other role, I guess. As long as I'm in hockey, I'm happy. Long term, I want to tick off every single NHL stadium. I also want to explore every MLB ballpark as well while I'm at it. Basically, I want to keep doing what I love, and I love hockey, and I'm so grateful for everything and everyone that it's brought me. And I'm excited for another year of staying up to the middle of the night watching Leafs games, making these videos about hockey, which I'm still amazed that anyone watches because I just started making them for a bit of fun. And hopefully see the Leafs winning a cup soon, which the Leafs win the cup, I will have to be there. I will need to book a flight. I would have to, I could not miss that for the world. Imagine I hadn't gone to that one hockey game all those years ago. Oh, how different life could be. So there you have it, there's today's video. A little bit more of a sentimental kind of one because I just felt like that was something that I wanted to do. So I really hope that you enjoyed it. And next week I'll be back with some more actual hockey videos. If you have any requests for videos, let me know in the comments down below. I'm looking to do some more sort of video essay deep dive content into various elements of hockey and the NHL and the Leafs as well. So any requests for any videos, whether that be about UK hockey or the Leafs or anything else, leave me a comment down below, and I always love putting together new ideas for videos. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell so that you can see when I've uploaded, and also like this video of course if you did enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more hockey chats from across the pond. Bye guys.